Hey, good afternoon, lover. How you doing? Great to be with you on this actually actually kind of dreary cold Wednesday. Yeah, I know I bang on about the weather, don't I? But I think summer's over in the UK. And yesterday I was walking the dog and I was walking amongst a lot of leaves. So yeah, autumn has arrived. I don't think it's officially here, but I can see it's here. And I've actually got a hot water bottle on my lap right now, so just to keep me warm. And I don't know why I'm still wearing a t-shirt. Anywho, enough about me and the weather and my temperature. So exciting. Good to be with you, darlings. Thanks for joining. As you do join, please say hi in the comments. I love to know who I'm chatting to. And of course, you know the drill. Most of you, if you're watching on replay, please type hashtag replay so I can see who's watching. Really, really lovely to be with you this morning or this afternoon. I had a voice note yesterday from a colleague, and she was asking me, and actually let me just hide her name at the top of my post-it note so I can keep her anonymous. But I actually just took notes while she was leaving me this voice note, and these are the notes that I took yesterday. And she was, hold on a minute, let me just turn off my mail so I don't get pings, because that's what tends to happen when I go live. I start pinging. Anyway, yeah, so she sent me this voice note yesterday and was asking for my advice. And at first it was interesting because I've known her for a little while. And at first she was like, I'm not sure if this is something I could ask you or not, but I get the sense that this could be your expertise. So I just want to check. And she told me her problem, what she was struggling with. And it was interesting because, you know, she's a very happily married woman. So she didn't need relationship advice. She didn't need any kind of support around being single. It was nothing to do with love, dating, or relationships. And she was just checking it out. She said, I feel like you could help me, but I'm not sure. And it was a really nice opportunity to say, yeah, while my focus is supporting women with their relationships, whether they're in a relationship and wanting to strengthen that relationship, or whether they're single and wanting to call in their soulmate, fundamentally, at the root of everything I do, it's about reconnecting a woman to herself. It's realigning her own energy, her own magnetism, doing the healing work, specifically around whatever it is that's blocking her from calling in whatever it is that she desires. And fundamentally, this is all rooted in self-love. I founded the School of Self-Love, it must be 13 years ago now. I usually have to check LinkedIn to find out the anniversary, although I'm not sure it's quite right. But yeah, at the root of what I do it's self-love. It's coming home to yourself. It's all about helping a woman have a deeper relationship with herself. And then a massive byproduct of that is so that you can have the kind of relationships you desire. Like that's really what it all boils down to. And self-love and having a deep connection with yourself means you're in a space where you can create the life you desire, where you can, it becomes a normal practice to take time to tap into your desires, feel into what you want, and clear anything that's standing in the way of you having that thing. Like, this is the work. This is what I'm doing with my clients. So I really, really loved this question that she asked me, which I'm going to share with you in just a second, because it gave me the opportunity to dive into the realms of aligning your energy, the realms of self-love, the realms of deepening your relationship with you. Yeah, it was lovely. And that's the work that really, really, really lights me up. And of course, I've got a little, there it is. Love Fest. Love Fest is happening next week. And really, that's kind of what we're doing next week. In fact, what I'm going to talk about today, this is a little nugget of the kind of subject matter and material you can expect from next week's Love Fest, which is a completely free 3-day festival, which, yeah, we start Monday. There's a link. Find out all about it in the link. Come and join me if you're interested. It's not about how to have a healthier relationship or how to call in a healthier relationship. It's the focus is completely on you and coming home to you and how to call in a deeper relationship with you. And we take a look at very specifically what is blocking you from having the relationship with yourself that you desire, and the relationship that will allow you to have healthy relationships, that will allow you to call in your heart's desires in a way that feels really, really good for you. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next week at Love Fest. I'd love for you to come. Let me just check the comments and then I'll dive into the question that I got yesterday. Lindy, sorry, can't stay. Have to watch the procession leave Buckingham Palace. We'll catch later. Oh, I wonder, are you watching that on the telly or are you actually in London? What an amazing thing to witness in person in London. I can imagine the energy there is big. Is big. There's a lot going down in London right now. Claudia's here. Mwah. Hello, darling. How are you? Helen's here. Good timing having lunch. Mwah. Good to have you, darling. Anya, sorry, that's a Facebook user. Hello, I don't know who that is. Anya, I'm not sure what link you are talking about. What link do you mean? Do you mean the link to register for Love Fest? It should be working. If that link's not working, do you mean the link to register for Love Fest? If that's the link that you mean, then I'm going to have to go and do some troubleshooting. It should be working. Oh, Karen, it's you. Hello, darling. Hi. Oh, Kellyanne's here as well. This is awesome. Hello. And Jane, hello. Oh, so many of my favorites. Hi, darlings. Pretty much everybody here that I know is here. Yeah, is in my Love Lounge membership. Yay. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Always fun to hang out, isn't it? Oh, and Ingrid's here. Hello. You're joining next week. I love that you're back for more. That is awesome. Love having your energy there. To register for Love Fest, it's not working. OMG. Well, that's not ideal, is it? Can't imagine why. Let me check that out. I've been seeing people registering today, so not sure, Anya. I'll take a look. Yeah, I don't know either, Karen, why it does that. You have to give StreamYard permission. There's a little button to click to give StreamYard permission to show your name. If you don't give it permission, it can be a bit funny, but not to worry. Just sign off with your name and then I'll know. Anywho, let me dive in. Let's dive in. So yesterday, I'm going to follow the bullet points that I wrote down on this Post-it note. So I got this message from a colleague and she said, kind of in a nutshell, she said, I can't find the energy to do what I want to do. And I wonder if any of you can relate to that. I can't find the energy to do what I want to do. Now, alongside her saying that, she also said a few times, and I don't want to burn out. She said, I'm prone to burnout and pushing myself. So on the one hand, she doesn't have the energy to do what she wants to do. She's an entrepreneur. She's running a very beautiful business. And she's not feeling the energy to do what she needs to do in that business, to show up, to do the work with her clients, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, she's really quite frightened of burnout and of pushing herself too much. So we've got some others here who are relating to this. Right. Okay, Claudia. Cool. So I think, I hope what I'm going to share with you today will help move you out of that funk. So she said, Katie, do you have any suggestions to shift my energy? I'm like, yeah, definitely. And move me into a positive space. Yes. Yeah, she said, I want to get out of this funk. So, and I really, really get that because this comes up for me regularly. All right. So you are seeing me now with a bubbly, with a lot of energy, feeling inspired. I'm not like that all the time. And I won't go live unless I feel like that. Okay. So, which is why I don't commit to certain things. So I say I'm going to do my Cuppa with Katie show every Wednesday, but I don't say what time on a Wednesday because I have to feel the way I need to feel to be able to show up on camera. Now, I know I'll do it. There's the occasional day that I've not done it because I haven't been able to bring me to a screen. And I've had to really honor that. It's very rare that happens, but when it happens, I honor it. So I, like my business doesn't own me. I own my business, and I have chosen, and I choose this daily. This really is a daily choice. I choose to show up in my business every single day in a way that feels really good and true and aligned for me. So you're never, ever going to receive me if I'm not feeling it. And, I've got to share that the last few mornings, and in fact, I did a story on Instagram this morning where, I needed this morning to just go. There's a stream in the woods just behind where we live, and I absolutely love it. And there's never anybody there. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I love to go and sit by that stream and just listen to the water running down the stream and just have my very precious me time. And I needed to go there this morning because I was not feeling it. I had no energy for my business. Yesterday morning, I felt the same. And Monday morning, I felt the same. So every morning this week, I've woken up feeling actually very flat. I've woken up every morning feeling like I just want to chuck it all in. I mean, it's probably hormones, and I kind of know that about myself. But I felt that this week. I felt like I want to chuck it all in. I don't want to show up. I felt very flat, and I don't like feeling like that. I mean, who likes feeling like that, right? And I've had to love the part of me that does feel like that. And I know a big reason why, and it's I've been struggling with some back pain, and it's been getting me down. Okay, so it's an ongoing thing. It's been getting me down. I'm very aware of the mental, emotional, physical connections. So I know that I don't have lower back pain without there being like a mind emotional cause, if that makes sense. And lower back is usually about not feeling supported in some way, right? So for some reason, this is my own personal exploration piece just now, and I'm reaching out to various people to support me as well. There's something going on for me. There's something going on for me on an energetic level, not feeling supported, on an emotional level, not feeling supported. I can't bring it to my mind of like, where in my life don't I feel supported? But that's my self-inquiry right now. And by the way, this is, again, I can feel myself already speaking into what Love Fest is going to be covering next week. Can you hear like what I'm sharing right now is a commitment to me and a constant self-inquiry to a constant commitment to take care of myself, and alongside that, a constant self-inquiry as to what's going on. Why am I not feeling great? What do I need? Is that daily question, how do I feel? What do I need? Giving myself that, not just giving into and being a victim to pain in my body. It's like, if I've got pain in my body, there's an energetic block there. We're not meant to feel pain. Pain is trying to show us something. There's something going on for me that needs self-inquiry. And that self-inquiry needs to occur through a very loving lens, through the lens of self-love, not through the lens, which we're all very good at, of self-judgment, self-hate, like just, giving ourselves a hard time for not being perfect and on form and, bouncing off the walls with vibrancy and energy. Like, that's just not been me the last few days. I have been hurting. My lower back has been hurting, and I have been having to take very, very good care of myself. Now, why am I sharing this? Hold on one sec. There's a holiday blues. Yeah, I mean, I think for my first week back from Greece, there was some holiday blues. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm adapting a little bit to, the massive weather change. I mean, I was joking with James last night. I said 2 weeks ago, I was hunting for my flip-flops, Aussies, that's thongs, because a big wave kind of came in onto the beach and it washed my flip-flops away. And I'm like, 2 weeks ago, I'm hunting for my flip-flops. This morning, I'm hunting for my waterproof boots to go walk the dog in the mud. And it was pouring with rain. I just sat in the rain this morning. I actually quite enjoyed it, just rain on my face. It was very refreshing. But I'd say it could be some kind of seasonal blues as we move from a beautiful summer into the autumn. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is to say that, yeah, the last few mornings I have had to pay very conscious and very self-loving attention to my own energy. So my friend yesterday said to me, have you got any suggestions to shift my energy and move me into a positive space? And yes, I did have some suggestions for her, and I've been applying them on me just this last 3 days. I've needed it. If I haven't taken the time consciously to take care of myself every morning, I wouldn't have been able to show up for my clients this week. Right? I wouldn't have been able to do the work I wanted to do this week. We're launching Love Fest next week. It's a beautiful 3-day event. I want it to be gorgeous. So I've got things to do this week to make that happen. So I needed to work with my energy the last few mornings. Now, let me just give you a little bit of, I'll tell you how I did that and what I suggested to this woman yesterday. But before I do, I want to just give you a little bit of background to her story. And I'm going to do this in a way that doesn't give away who she is, because it was a private between her and I conversation. Hold on. So she has just pretty much taken the whole summer off, stepped away from her business because she had her daughter was needing her support. And her daughter had a major operation, and she needed to be there with her. So she didn't take the summer off to go on holiday and chill out with her family like I did. She took the summer off to support her child through a significant surgery. And it's all gone very well. And her daughter is back at school, which is actually quite a miracle and very exciting. And so she's, daughter's back at school and she's back to work. And she's not feeling it. She's like, I just, her words, I can't find the energy to do what I want to do. I can't get out of this funk. And we did some voice noting backwards and forwards. And I said to her, my sense is that you probably haven't had 2 seconds to yourself in quite a long time. And my sense is that while everything worked out well with your daughter's surgery, it was a very traumatic experience. And I say trauma with a little t, not a capital T. For her daughter and for the mum, it was a traumatic experience. I know what they went through. It was a traumatic experience. It's a big deal. And for a mum supporting her child, we must never, ever underestimate. And I have this regularly going on with my own child. It's that need, that drive to protect, to keep safe, to nurture. It's, for a lot of us women, it's a big driver. And we've done that since, I did that from the moment I fell pregnant. From the moment I conceived my son, I went into like full self-care. I was very protective of my body. I was taking care of him from the day he was conceived. And even though he is a teenage lad now that has a job and is at school and kind of is super independent, that doesn't suddenly disappear. And for this woman yesterday, she was a teenage daughter, the need to protect her daughter and have her be okay was big and understandable. And what her daughter went through was immense. Now, this woman didn't have, and it's really understandable, she didn't have the time or space for it to be about her on any level. It was all about her daughter. For several weeks, it was all about her daughter. She was sleeping in the hospital alongside her daughter for several weeks. It was all about the child. And there wasn't room for her. I don't even think she would have even realized the impact emotionally this was having on her. So emotionally, it's building up, building up, building up. But there's a level of trauma going on. There was a lot of fear. There was a lot of worry. She was in like full on caretaking mode. She was in a level of survival mode, like, and on high alert. What does my daughter need? Who can give that to her now? Like, she was on in that mode for several weeks. And it was only when her daughter went back to school that she said, I just found myself, I sat and cried for 2 hours. And I'm like, yeah, of course you did. Like, of course you did. Do you not realize what was building up for you over those weeks leading up to that day when she went back to school? There was a lot of emotional repression going on. There's no judgment on that. I completely get it. As a parent, I can see that she just went into caretaking mode. She was on a mission. She was alert, and she needed her daughter to be okay. So she didn't even consider her own needs. I know she did her best to take care of herself through that process, but her focus was on what her daughter needed, not her own comfort, not her own emotional needs. Now, if she could have had her time over and had a redo, and had I been by her side earlier, I would have been inviting her to check in with herself on a daily basis while she was essentially living in a hospital. How do I feel? What do I need? So that she could emotionally regulate day by day by day, so that she could be taking more better care of herself every day while she was taking care of her daughter. Because it doesn't have to be an either or. It can be an and. I can take care of you and I can take care of myself. I can be concerned about how you feel and what you need, and I can do that for myself too, right? It can be an and. It was predominantly an either or. And so, of course, she's come to this place where she's okay, everyone's good. She's back at school. I'm back at work. Let's do this. And she hasn't got the energy. Now, when we don't feel that we can find the energy to do what we want to do, we have to take a look at, well, what is blocking that? What is the block to that? Everything is energy. Now, it could be a mental block. There could be some belief systems going on. For this woman, it was an emotional block. She had a lot of energy and emotion that had been repressed over a period of time. And while that was there, it was kind of gagging her, restricting her, and it had her, in her words, feeling like she was in a funk. The energy wasn't moving. The energy hadn't been flowing, and that's her emotional energy. And if our emotional energy isn't moving and flowing, then we feel like we are in a funk. And so that was her first call to action. The first thing she needed to do was love herself enough to prioritize time and space to actually just feel her feelings, to reflect on the last few weeks and really acknowledge what she'd gone through. I mean, she'd done a lot of acknowledgement of what her daughter was going through, but she needed to acknowledge what she, as a mother, gone through. And at every step of the way of that experience, like, how did that feel for her? And it was like, my question to her was, how can you connect to those feelings? Like, what will work for you? And it's different for everybody. Is it journaling? Is it speaking out loud? Is it go for a run, go do a boxing class? Is it walking in nature? Like, what is it for you that will help you to connect with an awareness of what was going on for you emotionally, so that you can begin to just release that? We can't release something we're not aware of. We've got to get into awareness first. And we can't easily release emotion if we're not present in our body. And the body, as a lot of you know through my teachings, is, the home of the feminine, our feminine energy. The home of the feminine is the body. The home of our masculine energy is the head. We can't, I need to find the energy to do what I want to do was the question. I want to get out of this funk. You don't do that from up here. Mindset isn't the only thing that's going to sort that out. Affirmations aren't the only thing that's going to sort that out. That can help. But she needed to release something emotionally. And to do that, she had to get into her body. So the invitation then was, how can you get into your body? What feels good for you? Do you like running? Do you like swimming? Do you like walking? What is it for you that helps you to be really present and connected to your body? Even meditation, because we're inviting ourselves to sit and be and connect inwardly. So often, if I sit in meditation, the tears will come very quickly just because I'm choosing to consciously be with myself. And that presence allows my awareness to drop in on how I'm feeling. And because I've stopped and I am present, I'm not distracting myself and being busy up here in my head, because I am allowing myself to be present. I have the space for the feeling, the emotion to come through. So her invitation was to, first of all, get into awareness around what are the feelings, what's been stagnating, what have I been blocking, what haven't I been paying attention to, and then to get into her body and allow the emotion to move through and out. And that's the key. The emotion, which is an energy, needs to move through and out. And as it starts moving and leaving, she will have the energetic capacity, the energetic space to refill with creativity, with inspiration, with her ideas, with the motivation to refocus on her work. And that process is going to take as long as it takes. And quite often we think, oh my God, I'm so blocked. I'm in such a funk. It's going to take me weeks to get my mojo back. It feels like that, but so often it can happen so quickly. And I said to her, why don't you set the intention to maybe take a week off work? Knowing that when you give yourself that amount, that permission to have that amount of space and time for you, you'll be amazed at how quickly you move through and clear out, and how quickly the inspiration drops in. So commit to taking the week off. But if you feel inspired to do some work, go do some work. Awesome. As long as it's coming from a really inspired place, not from the ego place of you should, or you're not good enough, or that disempowered masculine space of, you're not enough, you're going to fall behind. What are you doing? You need to work harder. Don't be so ridiculous. What are you doing? Feeling feelings. What does that even mean? That's ridiculous. How long is that going to take? Right? This is all the voice of the disempowered masculine. So give yourself the permission. And if you feel called to work, then work. Great. And then maybe on week 2, you want to ease back into work and say, I'm going to do 2 or 3 hours a day, and do that if it feels good. And if you feel like doing more, great, do more. You'll probably have a huge surge of creativity and inspiration because you've taken the time to feel your feelings, allow it to move through you. Then you're like back to happy, right? Back to motivated and inspired. The process of allowing your emotions to shift and move through you really can happen so quickly. I was telling James last night that yesterday morning I felt really through the floor. I mean, I'm sleeping really, really well, so I'm not lacking in that. I'm not tired, but I have got this persistent pain in my lower back, and I guess that's quite tiring, and I find that emotionally draining. And I've lost my mojo. It's probably quite hormonal, but whatever. Yes, it doesn't matter the reason. Yesterday morning, I felt through the floor flat, so flat. I thought, I just don't know how to do my day today. That's how I felt yesterday morning. I shared this with my business coach in my mastermind group, actually. What's beautiful about the experience, though, was I felt it. I took myself off on my dog walk. And while I'm walking, I'm like moving emotion through me. I'm just like, I'm moving energy. It's like I'm out, I'm connected to my body. I'm very I'm very consciously connecting with my senses. Otherwise, that helps me to be in my body. Otherwise, I'm walking and I'm in my head. When I'm walking, I will like look around me. So I engage my sight. I listen to hear what I can hear. I smell what I can smell. I feel what I can feel. Is it rain? Is it heat? Is it like, what am I feeling? And I'm present in my body. So I was doing that yesterday morning. It would have been helping, but I still felt really flat. And it wasn't until I got home and I did a ton of stretching. I did some exercises that I do almost every day for my back. And I just was really present in my body. I listened to a meditation. The tears came with the meditation and with the movement of the stretching. And the tears were a release. I would say the stretching and meditation altogether was about 20 minutes. And in 20 minutes, I went from feeling through the floor flat to back to happy. I'm good. Oh my God, like what was I worried about? It's incredible to me how quickly we can shift our energy. Now, sometimes it takes longer than that. If we consciously and lovingly pay attention to ourselves on a daily basis, we can get this sped up, right? So we can bring ourselves back, bring ourselves back, bring ourselves back again and again and again. It's a practice, and we can do that. And at no point you're not hearing me say, you're not ignoring how you feel, you're not denying it to bring yourself back. You bring yourself back by going into full acknowledgement of how you're feeling and what you need. You bring yourself back by getting into your body. You bring yourself back by allowing your emotion to move through you. And our conditioning and our disempowered masculine will tell us again and again and again, you don't have time for that. What's that going to achieve? You're going to fall behind. And we have to choose with self-love every single day to ignore that conditioned voice and give ourselves exactly what we need in the moment. And what we find is that, yeah, we can move through it way faster. So let me just take a look at the comments. Layla, hi, darling. Thank you. Needed to hear this. I've been avoiding to continue my holistic course, which is very important to me and part of my vision, stepping into my future vision. Great. So, yeah, I mean, clear what you need to clear, get that energy moving on where you're at. And then, yeah, the inspiration to get back on and do your course will return. And it will probably return much quicker than you think. Karen. Karen, your name came up. You must have given StreamYard permission to share it. Walking really helps me, and I usually find somewhere to sit and take my journal with me and write in that too. This really helps me release my emotions. Beautiful. Yeah, journaling for me is a really powerful tool as well. Yes. Gorgeous. Thank you for sharing that, darling. So, yeah, if you're wanting to figure out how to find the energy to do what you want to do, if you need to get out of a funk, I hope I've given you a few practical suggestions today. What I haven't addressed today, and I won't because it's time to move on and let you all get on with your day, I haven't addressed her fear of burning out and of pushing herself. But I think the answer to that is inherent in what I was just saying. If we can prioritize how we feel and what we need, we are not going to burn out. Yeah, we're not going to succumb to pushing ourselves and ignoring what's really going on. Yeah, I mean, this woman could have worked. She could have got on with her job, but it wouldn't have been coming from a creative, juicy, inspired place. She would have been doing the work rather than sharing her passion and love for what she does, what she's all about. Very different energies, right? Okay, I hope that was helpful. We're going to be talking more around this kind of thing next week at Love Fest. Okay, and it's been designed with workbooks or playbooks every day for you to really dig deep into creating more awareness around where you're at in your life right now and what needs to shift and how you can do that. Right, so it's a really beautiful reconnection to you over those 3 days. Okay, it's a very gentle 3 days as well. And I know there's lots of things going on next week, including Monday. I know for those of you in the UK and for those of you who this is important to, we've got the Queen's funeral happening during the day. So this isn't going to interfere with that and with your own process of acknowledging that. I will be acknowledging it in my own way as well. So it's not such a full-on experience. Sign up to Love Fest. Come and enjoy it in your own time and space. If you can't come to the lives in the evening, which start at 7 p.m., they're all recorded, so you can just watch them back when you like. If you're on a different time zone, it's okay. You can just watch them back. right? When it suits you. And it's never going to get deleted. But you do have to register to get the playbooks and to get all the, the full access to everything. Yeah. But it's never going to go away once you've registered for it. Okie dokie. Layla, you're so welcome. My love, have a beautiful rest of your day. Karen, you're all signed up for Love Fest. Yay. That's going to be really fun. I am going to jump off and see if I can figure out if we have a problem with the registration page and get it fixed if there is one. Okay. All right, darlings. Love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Ciao, ciao.